Hey guys, I'm Alana from W1N and welcome to this month's episode of Insights. As you know, I love talking to interesting people about their jobs and people that can help you to achieve your goals, whether it's getting into the mining industry, upskilling yourself, and absolutely everything in between. Now, as you know, W1N works worldwide with candidates and definitely Australia-wide to help you to get what you want. And one thing that pisses me off is some RTOs that will just basically say you need every ticket underneath the sun to get a mining job, which is not true. Anyway, most common questions that we have that coming to us is what RTOs or registered training recognised is recognised anyway, registered training organisations do we recommend it on the East Coast to go to? And we've spent quite a bit of time actually sussing out quite a few of the RTOs over on the East Coast, and we have found one that I believe is the best in the business. These guys are basically a one-stop shop to get pretty much almost every ticket underneath the sun. So my guest today is Paul Hetmanska from PM2. Paul, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Alana. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, awesome. So Paul, thanks to Tans, if you're watching, of course you will be. One of our staff has gone out and she's basically hit the ground running, found you guys, and the amazing amount of courses that you've got at PM Squared. So tell me, what's your background? How did you get into training? And yeah.
Okay, so I'm a mechanic by trade. I started that actually at a late age. I went into the mines and I started there right at the bottom. So I'm not somebody that's come in at the top. I started as a labourer, and through my skill sets and everything else, I worked my way up. I ended up, being a site manager or the site supervisor for a lot of things, and also the manager in the workshop at one of the Mount Isa mines. So my background is mechanics, but in the mines, and this is going back a lot of years, health and safety wasn't there as much as what it is today. And because of that, I actually ended up injured. And I realized at that point that there's a lot of training that needs to happen. From there, I've gone into other areas as well. And I figured that training in the mines is a massive industry and it's a massive thing. And unfortunately, it's all these people are looking for the tick and flick where it's kind of, oh, I need it quick. I need it now. I want it now. How much, how cheap can I get it? And it's not about cheap. It's not about how quick I can get it. It's about what you're getting out of it to skill you up to get into the mines to actually work safely. Miners don't look at that factor. They just look at the fact of, I just need the ticket to get there, but they don't realize that that ticket is actually doing something for them. It's actually getting them the qualification to do the job that they want to do. And mine companies look at it and say, this person has a ticket. They should be able to do this safely, and that's why they leave you alone. Unfortunately, we both know that that doesn't necessarily happen.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's why again it took us so long to find an RTO that we do recommend. Obviously, we've got our WA ones, and we would not do anything to jeopardise that. But so many people asking us for the Queensland one, I was like, who do we choose? Because I personally haven't gone to you guys, but yeah, so 100% agree.
So with our training, we try and do practical training for practical jobs. That's our motto. Okay, it's no good, sitting you down in the classroom and saying, "Oh, here, learn this," but never actually stepping out on a piece of machinery, or even doing, simulated piece of machineries. We can't necessarily go out and jump on a dozer, but we can simulate that through, CAT's equipment. We've got a Caterpillar simulator here at the moment, which operates exactly the same. And it really gives you a good understanding, and you can practice and practice and practice. So when you go out on the job, you actually get there and know what you're doing.
Yeah, definitely. Our WA RTO that they've got a whole quarry. So unless you have access to a quarry or a mine site, I guess the simulator and being able to jump in there is probably the next best option.
Absolutely. But talking about quarries, we've just gotten access by the looks of it to one out at Dalby. So we're actually looking at setting up a mini mine site where basically we're going to be teaching people, hopefully, everything from shift changes right through to, all your tickets, your excavators, your skid steers, your dozers, your mucking units if you're underground. But also we've got Cert 3 in surface extraction, and we've also got Cert 3 in mining production. So we've got those. We're looking at adding on Cert 3 in agriculture, which actually allows you to go onto the coal seam gas areas and everything else like that, which is something that is out there, and a massive industry for that as well. We're looking at doing drillers. So we can start training up drillers offsiders and actually doing drilling out there. We're looking at all these different avenues of where our clients need us to go, so that we can make the best students to actually go out and the best operators out there. So we want to get known for that.
Amazing. And having that mine site, that I know your dream, to get a mine site and have it fully, like, where people could go out for 2 weeks, jump on actual machinery and just like learn the basics in almost like a real life mine situation, I think is absolutely an incredible incentive that you're trying to bring to life.
Absolutely. And that's my goal, and that's where I want to be, because I think, to be trained, you need to be in the situation. We don't put pilots in the air without putting them through hours and hours and hours of simulation, but then we put them in the air to make sure that they can do it. So same here.
Yeah, 100%. And Paul, basically, I have never seen an RTO that has as many courses as you do. It's absolutely incredible, the range that you've got. Tell us about some of the most popular courses, and basically just run through what you've got on offer, although we might be here for the rest of the day talking about this.
We do have a lot. I mean, as I said, we've got all our tickets, and I can't memorize them all off the top of my head. So I'm actually going to bring a screen up, which actually tells me them all. Sorry. So we've got Cert 3 in heavy commercial vehicles. We've got Cert 3 in mobile plant. We've got Cert 4 in work health and safety, Cert 1 in construction, Cert 3 in concreting, Cert 3 in demolition, and the list goes on right down to security and surface extraction, resource processing, emergency response and rescue, civil construction plants, Cert 4 in surface extraction, driving ops, and there's 1,000,001 there.
Let's not forget all the basics that people are always asking us for, like all operating tickets, gas test atmospheres, like working at heights, confined spaces, like the standard 11, which is one thing that I did want to talk to you about as well, because a lot of people ask us about the standard 11. What is it? Why do I need it? And it's Queensland and East Coast based, isn't it? It's not a WA thing at all.
It's not a WA thing, but WA actually do like it, and they do accept it, because standard 11 is 6 units of competency that basically give you an induction onto a mine site, and it's the base level of getting on there, especially onto coal mines. Okay, so anything to do with coal, standard 11 is mandatory. As you know, a lot of people come to this industry and go, I want to drive a dump truck. I mean, as we were talking the other day, if I got $1 for every time somebody said that to me, we'd be rich. But it's just over the top. But they don't realize the size about it. And you yourself have driven dump trucks, that you can't, you can't see everything. You don't know everything that's around you. You've got to look and keep your eyes observant, so that when you actually pass that point, you know what's there. And people don't realize that size is well and truly over the top. And that's something that they need to be realizing. So one of the things with standard 11 is going through that sort of thing, and going through how you can put yourself into a position where you're actually knowing what's around you, what you're looking for, what a windrow is, I mean, something as simple as that people don't know what the words are, all those different terminologies, the different understandings, how coal is actually developed, what makes it coal, what makes it put there. That's what standard 11 is all about, as well as the safety, knowing that, you've got to stop on a mine site as soon as you hear emergency, emergency, emergency. You've got to, you don't wait. You wait for the emergency to finish before you actually drive. And why we do that, they're the things that you learn. They're the things that I'm passionate about, because that's what keeps people safe.
Yeah, awesome. And you guys have white cards as well, don't you?
Yes, we do white cards. We are authorised by Workplace Health and Safety Queensland. In Queensland, obviously, we do them face to face at our Caboolture office. And we do that every Tuesday and Thursday. So that's basically something that we offer to the community and to offer to everybody, so that it's much easier for them just to go one place and actually do it there and then.
Yeah, awesome. And seriously, when I was looking at the range of courses that you have, I have actually never ever seen that in my whole life. And if you're watching right now at home and you're thinking about getting tickets as well, just stay to the end of this video, because we're actually going to give you a very nice discount, Paul, if
Yep.
you do require any training. But yeah, what I like about you as well, Paul, is the fact that you don't push like, you know, oh, get every single ticket underneath the sun, like only like recommending tickets that are going to be relevant, which is one of the reasons why we did actually come to you, because it's not like some RTOs where they're like, oh, look, if you get every ticket under the sun, you'll walk into an excavator operator role. Yeah, not going to happen.
No, not going to happen. And you've been there, and so have I. Getting the ticket is one part. Showing that you can operate it is a totally different section. Okay. And you're better off getting one ticket and actually having that as a standalone, and make sure that you know what you know, than getting 50 tickets and never using them and them not being any good.
Yeah. And so many people do that, and then they're just like, oh, I can't get a job. It's like, well, you come from a, you know, completely irrelevant background. You've got every ticket under the sun, which shows that you haven't had a strategic plan. You're just throwing money at it thinking that it's going to work that way, which it doesn't.
Yeah. So one of the things that I like to do is say, okay, well, where do you want to go? And this is why I loved W1N as well, because it's about people. It's not necessarily about the almighty dollar that a lot of people think about and everything else. I mean, everybody needs to make money, yes, but we look at the people. We look at what we can do for them and how we can best help them. I have students or young guys coming in here, and you say, yeah, what do you want to do? I want to go to the mines. Okay, what job? And
Yeah.
I don't know. I just want to go to the mines. And I mean, as an employer, it shows me that you don't have direction. You don't know what you want to do. You've got nothing. So having, getting these guys in, I mean, I can sell them a course and I can sell them a ticket, but I tell them to go away and wait until they find out what they want to do. And when they're passionate about it, come back and see me, and then we'll get them what they need so that they can move down that track, because that's more important than just getting money through the door, as much as it's needed, but it's more important about getting people that have actually achieved what they've got and where they want to go.
Definitely. And sometimes, like, especially in our career consultation sessions, we get people who've got no idea about all the different opportunities that exist out there, or what they can actually get based upon reality and, like tickets that they are going to actually need, instead of just going out getting everything and going, oh, I want to be a TA, and they've gone out and got all operator tickets, or well, I want to drive a loader, and they've got to like gas test atmospheres and stuff that they don't actually need, which is such a crucial part of the career consultation sessions that we do, to basically just reverse engineer it and say, no, don't waste your money on this. Go have a strategic path out there, and then basically just get your foot in the door. You don't need to go get a dozer ticket if you've been working at Macca's, which I've actually seen before this guy do. It's like, mate, you're not going to walk into a dozer. Ain't going to happen. So yeah, it's good that you have those morals as well, which is why we love you guys. We were just like, it's not just all about, oh yeah, come in and we'll sell you every single ticket underneath the sun just to get cashed up. Doesn't work like that. That's bad business.
No, it is bad business, and it doesn't get you a good name out there. And that's one thing I pride myself in, is we do have a good name. Unlike a lot of other RTOs, you have a CEO that runs it. I actually own my own RTO, so I own it, I run it. I'm here every day, and it's it's a love job. You've got to love your job and love what you do and everything else like that. I love seeing the underdog get somewhere. I'm dyslexic. Okay, I tell everybody. Well, I don't tell everybody, but
We have now.
Yeah, well, true.
Only going out to, I think, 60,000 people on Facebook, Paul, and the YouTube channel.
Hey, they'll recognize me down the street now. But being dyslexic, I always got told that, you're stupid or you're dumb or you can't learn or you can't do this and you can't do that. I've now got a degree. I've done, I've got multiple qualifications. Being able to learn is everybody's right. Being able to learn is everybody's right. It's not something some people are gifted at and some people aren't. Everybody has the right to learn. It's up to the training organization, and specifically the trainer that you are dealing with, to identify how you learn and put it in a way that you actually understand it. And that's what I pride myself in doing, making sure that you actually get the most out of it that you need. And that's where we come from, and that's our background. So we have all sorts. We have people with Asperger's, we have people with dyslexia, we have people who have learning difficulties, and we manage that in different ways. And it's putting it to the person and getting the information out of the person that we need, not shortcutting the system, not just rubber stamping the back of a Kellogg's box and saying, there you go, there's your ticket, now you can go and kill someone. It's basically making sure that you understand what you're doing. And that's our pride and joy. That's what we try and do. So it doesn't matter where you come from, doesn't matter your history, doesn't matter whether you can read, whether you can write. We will take everybody in and we'll try and do our absolute best for absolutely everybody.
Yeah. And saying that though, like obviously you've got to do the right thing as well, like morally. So it's not just a ticket flick. Yeah, everyone who pays gets the ticket. It's working with them, obviously. But do you have any people who fail some of these courses?
Absolutely. Attitude comes down to it. I don't want to put somebody with an attitude of, I can do anything and get away with it into a 100-ton dump truck and send them down a decline when they're trying to do fishtails and roll over and kill everybody. I mean, that's going to come back on me. And so you've got to have the right attitude. You've got to have the right knowledge and ability to be able to pass. Not everybody passes. Not everybody likes not passing, but not everybody passes. But we try our best to make sure everybody gets the right information, and it's up to the person on whether or not they want to accept it in that. And if they're goofing off, that comes down to it. We can't accept that out in the mine site, so why should I accept it in my classroom and everything else?
And you do not want to get a bad name of like, oh yeah, he got his ticket here and then he's gone out and gotten into incidents galore, has no idea how to turn the machine on, etc., which happens.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So what's your most popular course that you've got going?
Standard 11. Standard 11 excavators. At the moment, the dozer, just every kid wants to drive a dozer. It's amazing. I don't know why, but it's either a dump truck or a dozer. I think it's just the bigger the piece of the equipment, the more they think it's better. But it's cool. But skid steer and skid steer excavator. They're probably the biggest ones because they're the ones that are mostly used. Water truck, people don't realize that there's a lot of responsibility in the water truck operator. People don't realize it, and what to actually do and actually how to operate and how to deal with it properly, and what they're putting down. It's not just what they're doing, but it's also what they're doing to others behind them when they're actually watering the roads and why they're doing it and everything else. That's all part of the water truck. We have a water truck that we go and use. We have a excavator that we go and use. It could be one that I call Tourette's. It's a little baby if I can't get the big one. And you've got to really have good eye coordination with it. And then we've also got a 32-tonner that we can actually get a hold of and use as well. So they're decent size excavators. There's what else have we got? Rollers that we can get a hold of, forklifts that we can do, and we do the licenses.
Is that right?
Yeah, high risk license.
Yeah.
So we do the high risk license. We also have trainers and training facilities where they also do dogging, rigging. We're going into the cranes side of things. We're opening up now to doing the coal seam gas area with the four-wheel drive, as well as operate and maintain a four-wheel drive, and also operate a light vehicle. They're big ones, big movers. There's a whole range depending on the industry and depending on where we're going. But what we're trying to do is create, as you said, that one-stop shop where you can come in, the quality of training, what you can get, where you're going, and if you need something, that you can get it there.
Yeah. That it's such a game changer. Instead of even over here, operator tickets, we've got the RTOs that we'll send people to, and then they're like, what about like a rigging and dogging ticket? Then we send them to somewhere else. But to have that one-stop shop, is just such a phenomenal opportunity for candidates to get to know the trainer and, you know, feel confident with you guys and just know that, oh, by the way, I need to stand at 11 as well. Can you do that? Yes. Great.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And can
And
you
we're across
create,
the ditch.
sorry, what was that?
And we're also across the ditch. We also go
Oh,
over to New Zealand as well.
perfect. Why wouldn't you want to go over there?
Yes. It's
I'll be with you
lovely.
on the next trip over there, Paul.
Yep,
Okay.
absolutely.
What about can you create like personalized bundles for somebody?
Absolutely. We doing individual courses and everything else, we can create a bundle for somebody that's specific. When we're doing classwork and everything else, if we're doing a class with a bundle, we try and bundle it so that it's specific to one type of industry or one area of the industry. So you're not just getting things for the sake of getting it. You actually, one of the things that I do is I bundle into our tickets is spotter. And everybody kind of doesn't think about spotting and everything else like that. I tell you what, the spotter has quite a serious job out there because they've got to be the eyes and the ears and everything else for the person actually operating a piece of machinery. They're the ones that are in control of the site because the operator can't necessarily see everything that's actually happening. So that's actually something that we put in with it so that they can actually bundle it together and actually make sure that they understand what the processes are. And knowing one, you know the other. So it works really, really well. So yeah, if they've got a desire and somewhere that they want to go and somewhere that they want to aim at, then we can bundle things together for them. Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you ever have candidates come in and they say, oh, their booklets say a dozer ticket, for example, and then you're probably like, oh, hang on, you've just come from, and I use this example because it's something that I've seen, guy from Macca's, and he went and got every ticket under the sun, instead of getting things like the roller, the water cart, and the stuff where those are the entry-level jobs that you are actually going to have a chance of getting on instead of, oh, go get the dozer and walk into a dozer job. You know what I mean? Do you ever say to people, look, mate, maybe that's not the best course of action?
Absolutely. One of the biggest ones that I find is, they say, I want to get a dozer ticket. Okay, well, why do you want to get a dozer ticket? Oh, because they're big and they're good and they're this and I've always wanted to drive the dozer. Okay, fantastic. Have you worked in a mine before? No. Okay. Have you worked in the quarry before? No. Have you worked in civil before? No. Okay, so why do you want to go to the biggest piece of machinery that there is out there and
Yeah.
operate that when you don't understand when the whole process works? So how about we get your foot in the door and you start understanding the process and do something just along the lines of, an excavator. And they say, oh yeah, but and you go, well, hold on, let me put it to you this way. On a mine site, you might have 15 dozers, but you've probably got 100 excavators. So realistically, statistically, you much more chance of getting an excavator job than a dozer job.
Yeah. Or like underground, like people, oh, can I get a jumbo ticket? Or, it's like, mate, yeah, I'm not going to walk into a jumbo role or a grader role. You need to basically wait till one of those people basically retire to get a shot on the grader. So,
That's it. Yeah, and work up to it. It's like anything. It's like when I started in the mines. Even though I had a full qualification, I started as a labourer. I started doing services and I started understanding about what they are and the importance of it. And that comes down to the person. And the more emphasis and the better you do and the more you work hard and safely, the more recognized you get. And the more recognized you get, the more experience you get in other areas as well.
Yeah, I think everyone just wants to go straight for the big money and the big job at the moment, don't they? Oh no, I don't, look, this is what we're dealing with a lot. Like, I don't want to go in as a utility. It's like utilities are like 90% of people's like foot in the door. It's not the end job, final destination. So just feel it.
Yeah, I mean, utilities are great for people to start with because the simple fact is you're in the site, you're starting to know the people in the site and everything else. They're starting to recognize you on that. And not everybody lasts doing fly in, fly out,
Yeah.
and a lot of people cannot handle it. So why would a mine want to put somebody on fly in, fly out when they don't know, A, if they're going to stay, what they're going to do? If they've got somebody in utilities that they see every day, they're always happy, they're always doing their best and everything else, who do you think they're going to try and offer the job to?
100%. I've seen that all the time, again and again and again. That's why companies like even over here, BHP, they are like, they take the utilities for their dump truck traineeships all the
Yeah,
time because they know that they're here, they can handle the heats and they, know the
absolutely.
safety aspects. So yeah.
That's it. And it's just being there. It's like the other thing in Queensland, especially, if you want a job in the mine site, other than come to Win-Win for your resume, that's the first point.
Gasoline.
But secondly, go out and go to the township and actually have a look and stay there and live there and actually be there, because most of the mine sites actually have an agreement saying that they must hire locally first.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
if you're there, that's
you get
it.
the job.
That's it.
A lot of people as well say to us, I will do anything, I'm willing to move. It's like, you'll move. Like, I know it's a big jump, but if you move to places like, Mount Isa or like Newman or all these little places, you're almost basically guaranteed that you're going to walk into one of these jobs.
Absolutely.
Sure, getting the housing can be the tough part, but, making that effort and being creative and staying with a mate or whatever it might be can just streamline you in there straight off the mark.
Well, when I started in the mines in Mount Isa, I actually bought a camper trailer and I went up to Mount Isa. I parked it in my mate's backyard, and that's where I stayed. And that's where I went and I got my first job up there. And that's how I started. I was up there for 3 months before I came back and saw my family, just because I was that dedicated to getting a job in the mines. And then that just grew.
That's what you got to do in Queensland now. Oh, how are you finding the market over there? It looks there's way less FIFO jobs coming about and way more residential drive-in, drive-out. Is that a fair assumption?
Yeah, I over the time, we used to see FIFO quite a lot. A lot of the mines have actually gone away from FIFO over here because they're trying to get this draw card of people actually being out there. And there's a lot of cost in FIFO because you've got a lot of everything else. But what they're doing is they're starting to go more DIDO, so drive in, drive out. Another one is BIBO, bus in, bus out. And a lot of the mines are doing that now, especially the mines that are central Queensland. They go from Cairns or Emerald and those sorts of areas where they'll actually, that's where they pick people up from. Even southeast Queensland, southwest Queensland, Toowoomba and those sorts of areas, they'll actually bus in, bus out from Toowoomba or from Brisbane, right up to Charleville and Chinchilla. Mount Isa is Mount Isa. It's just, you've got to be in the town and they don't bus you anywhere because that's where the mine is. But but you've got other mines around there. You've got gunpowder. You've also got, surface mines out there like, now I've just lost the name. Osborne is one. There's also Phosphate Hill is another mine that's out there, and they basically drive in, drive out of Mount Isa. So there's a whole range of areas, Then you've got the likes of right up in the top of Gulf Carpentaria where you've got, your Weepers and everywhere like that, where they will still fly you in and out. But if you went and moved to Weeper, I tell you what, you walk into a job.
Yeah, definitely. You just got to watch out for the cyclones that come in every year.
Well, we never heard anyone did it.
Yeah, that's right.
I was born and bred in Townsville. I know what cyclones are like. They just come and go, and you're
like,
with it.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Right, tell me. A question we get asked a lot is about the white card. So if somebody gets a white card in Queensland, can it be used in WA?
Yes. So the white card, actually, if you read anybody's white card, any of the states, on the back of it, or actually on the front of some of them, it actually states working across borders, and that's what it was done for. So in 2012, the legislation changed and became what we call a harmonised legislation. And the government realised that working in under Queensland rules in New South Wales, if there are two different rules, it's kind of, well, who takes jurisdiction? Is it because it's in New South Wales, or is it because it's a Queensland company? Or is it Western Australia, or is it a Queens? So they said, okay, well, we need health and safety across the board. So what we'll do is we'll make it working across borders. And that way you get your white card and it's fine to use anywhere in Australia.
Yeah. Good to know, because a lot of people ask us that and we're like, of course, it's like nationally recognised. So yeah. So it's good that a lot of tickets are going that way as well. So and driver's licenses and stuff like that, because it's kind of stupid. Like, you get a driver's license in Queensland, then you've got to swap it over to WA, and it's like, shouldn't it be across the whole country a standardized, if you can drive?
Absolutely. So we've got with our heavy vehicles, you've got your heavy vehicle license, which is your national license now, which is really, really good. So that's all come under the same. When it comes to high risk licenses, unfortunately, high risk licenses are still state based. However, most states have accepted that if you've got a Queensland state license, a Queensland high risk license, then you can use it anywhere as well. Okay. But if you're in the state and you're doing the qualification, you'll normally get the qualification from that state.
Yeah, very cool, very cool. And tell us about sorry, change subject, but you've got a really exciting project that you're about to kick off as well, or that you have been rolling out, your 2-week course. Tell us about that one, because I know a lot of people would be extremely interested in having that opportunity to go out there and actually do that course. So let riff on it.
So what we're trying to do is we're trying to get a hold of a quarry where basically it's acting as a mine site. So you will be on a mine, you'll be in a simulated mine, but it's actually on a site, driving the pieces of equipment, actually operating it. One of my biggest pets, like things that I want to train people in, is the fact that mining is 24/7. And people don't think about that. And they say, oh yeah, I can stay all night and I can do all of this. But transition from day shift to night shift is something that not a lot of people do well, okay? And they think that they can just do whatever they like and then they'll be right the next day. Most accidents on mine sites happen at the night time, okay? And it's because of the lack of vision and everything else, but it's also because of, at 2 o'clock, people start getting drowsy, at dusk, people start getting drowsy. So it's learning how to actually accommodate that and the things to look out for and everything else. So what we're trying to do is we're actually going to do, as I said, it's a simulated mine site. So we're not actually drawing ore out of the ground or anything, but what we are doing is operating pieces of machinery. We're operating everything. We're doing the same as you would for a FIFO, where you come in, you start with day shift and then you go to night shift. So we're teaching you how to transition. We want to teach you actually how to how to operate through the night without getting drowsy and what side effects to look for and everything else like that. So you're actually going to be operating daytime, you're going to be operating nighttime, you're going to be doing a transition, you're going to be sleeping in and out, like sleeping on site, the same as you do on a mine site. So basically you got to learn how to accommodate, how to deal with it all, how to get along with your friends, everything.
Like
because
windows. That would be really good, because obviously there's a lot of challenges that come with even that aspect of it, like getting enough sleep, and especially if you're on night shift, having your windows blocked out, and like the shift change, that would be a massive one, I can imagine.
Yeah, and shift changes are a really big thing. The amount of young guys and newbies and greens, that you see going out there, and they're really tired, and you go, well, why haven't you blocked your windows out? Oh, well, how do you do that? They haven't been taught those sorts of things, because they're things that and I know because we've experienced them.
Yeah.
And it's not common sense to everybody. And this is one of the big things. Everybody turns around and says, common sense isn't that common anymore. Well, common sense has never been common. Common sense is actually either what you've learnt or you've experienced. And for somebody like yourself, I mean, you're much younger than I am, but you've experienced a lot in the mining because you've been in that area. So there's a lot of information that you can give people that they wouldn't know other than you telling them. And that's what we want to try and do, is we want to try and get them that experience and understanding that, they can go up to the most camps actually have, block out aluminium foil that you can actually get for your windows, but they don't realize that.
Yeah, exactly. And that is a good hack there if you're on night shift, for sure.
Yeah.
That saved me quite a few times.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And it sounds like that has the opportunity to get really massive. I mean, pitching that even to mining companies and saying, hey, let's, give this a shot, or whatever, could be like a game changer in the industry, where they know that they've got the potential to get staff who have been trained on basically almost a live mine site and have those skills to be able to jump in the machinery and actually operate it like safely. So I think that's a really great incentive there, Paul.
Yeah. So one of the things that I'm passionate about is, as I said, I started off as a mechanic, and in my mining time, I noticed that there was so much machinery that was being damaged And it's not necessarily by the operator themselves. It's actually by not understanding what's actually happening around them. So when the water truck's going, not actually understanding what's happening to the road behind it. So then the graders having to come and redo the road because the dump truck's driven straight over the top of the wash. All these sorts of things that they're only thinking about their own job. So we want to approach it as a holistic approach. So this isn't just one aspect. This is actually understanding 8 different roles, okay, and actually getting there with every piece of machinery. So knowing what it feels like to be in the dump truck or a Moxie when you're being loaded by an excavator. Actually understanding what it looks like from an excavator's point of view when you've got the dump truck reversing up. Okay, understanding what it's like to be on a road when you've got the water truck that's just washed it out, understanding what it's like to be in the grader when you've got the water truck and the dozer and all these pieces of equipment trying to overtake you and you're trying to do the road, and then you've got to do it again and again and again because they're driving straight over what you've just done. So by understanding what each of the roles do, you have a compassion for that person in that role, and therefore you can actually do something like move over to the left a little bit and actually change that the person doesn't have to do it again. And that might sound, who figured? Things like that go a long way, especially with the likes of BHP and the likes of Rio Tinto and the likes of all these places, because they see that the operators are actually working in a holistic approach that makes the mine safer. Making the mine safer makes it run better. Making it run better makes it more profitable. Making it more profitable, guess what? Most of the time they'll put up your wages because you're actually doing a good job and helping them out, and they want to keep you there.
I wouldn't go that far, Paul. Not too sure about that. I'm not sure BHP will love hearing that. They'll be like, shut up. Just do your job and we won't fire you.
Well, I mean, look, I've seen so many people pinched by other companies because they've done that. And they've gone back to their boss and said, hey, such and such wants me. And they say, well, we want to keep you.
No, that's just because we did their resume, and then they're like, "Oh my God, these job opportunities coming through."
Absolutely, one of our mottos is, unskilled workers don't get the same opportunities, and that's exactly it. So if you're a skilled operator, let the opportunities come to you.
Yeah, oh, definitely. If you set yourself up properly and you're selling yourself properly, and the opportunities. Literally, employers are contacting really good operators and people who've been doing it for a while and just offering them jobs. That's the way. That's how you get jobs without applying.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that sounds like a really awesome project, Paul. I can't wait to see it actually live and to come out there to visit yourself and the team and to jump in a bit of machinery again. God knows I haven't been on anything for about 3-4 years now. It's like, you get a bit stir crazy being in the office.
Absolutely. You need to get back out there and remember what it's like.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I'm sure you would agree. Managing an international company versus driving around in a truck. Oh, yeah, there's less stress.
Give me the truck any day.
Yeah. Oh, what? So the only pressure is that I've got to, drive around in circles. All right, great.
How many loads do I have to do?
Yeah, exactly. 100%. All right, Paul. So tell me, you have got an awesome offer for anyone who's part of the Win-Win crew, I guess, and watching this right now. Tell us about it, Paul.
Absolutely. They mention your name, Alana, and I will give them a 5% discount on any courses that they do.
Amazing. And they can bundle those together, create the best package possible. Obviously, get your input so that they're not just getting every ticket under the sun, which is be beneficial to them.
That's right. At the end of the day, it's about them, and it's about them getting the qualifications they need to get into the industry that they want. And that's what it's about. If they bundle them together, we always try and give them a discount anyway because they're doing more with us. And a lot of the time you'll find that, especially when it comes to safety and that, they do 3 subjects and it's the same safety information in every single subject. And so we bundle it together, and instead of them doing 3 days, they do 2 days, and then that's it.
You've got a guest behind you there, Paul.
Yes. We're a family business, and Dad's here as well with me. So yeah.
That's what. That's great. Thanks, Paul. Really appreciate your time. And you know what, your prices are so competitive anyway. I did a bit of when we were deciding which company to contact and go with. The prices that you've got compared to a couple of the other RTOs that we saw, very, very competitive. So yeah, that's just another tick on the box of yes, we want to work with you guys. So yeah, you're definitely going to be the company that we will be recommending. For anyone who's watching this right now, down the bottom, there is a document called our relocation checklist. It's not just if you're relocating, there is a whole ton of awesome information about where you can get licenses, qualifications, get in contact with Paul if you're in Queensland, our WA RTOs, and just everything in between, just to help to streamline you into the industry. You can download this. It is free, and it is a wicked wealth of information to help you to achieve your goals. Paul, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. And look, it's been a pleasure. And even if people just want to contact us and just have a chat and everything else, by all means do so. But yeah, I thank you very much, because I know that the job that you're doing and with what you give out to people, you're like us, you give out more than what they expect. And that's the whole thing about this industry. It's giving it back to the people so that they actually have the right information to do the things that they need to do. And yeah, I respect that, and thank you very much. That's why we work with you.
Same, Paul. We've got to make it a win-win situation, pun intended.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Paul. I'll let you go. Amazing chatting with you. And I'm going to put all PM Squared's details underneath this video and on our checklist, so you can go and contact Paul and the team, get some training. Like, obviously, not every ticket under the sun, you don't need them, but get the ones that are going to help you to get where you want to go in life.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. Thanks for watching. I'm Alana from WinWin. That's Paul from PM Squared. And stay tuned for next month's episode of Insights, where we're going to bring you some more awesome stuff to help you to get employed, especially in the mining industry.
See ya.